What's up, Addicts? I'm Michael,
And I'm Josh.
and today we're doing Overlord Season 2. I can't get the title. Okay, there we go. That's
Which,
kinda
spoiler alert, that shirt is pure ecstasy.
yeah, it's 10 out of 10.
Yeah. So we're here to talk about season 2 of Overlord. I'm gonna give a quick and brief, telling of what this season entails. We get to see, first off, it's actually kind of interesting because we started with a new faction, the Lizard People, and we get to see how they operate and some cool characters. There's, I think, 3 main ones in particular that are pretty likable. And we get to see a little bit of flashback of Ains and Nazarick and seeing what they're planning. And we get to see that they're gonna enlist the Lizard People into their army. And there's a lot of little arcs, so it's gonna sound like bouncing around, but I'm just trying to keep away from spoilers. Which we have that going on. We also get a look for most of the season with the humans and kind of setting up what their criminal underring looks like, them trying to get more information about, like how their food is stored, like what their army looks like, stuff like that. And we get Savas actually leading that investigation and him going after the criminal underring of the, I guess it's Kingdom? Is that right?
Kingdom.
Yeah. And him actually confronting them. And then at the very end of the season, we get to see I guess it's not so much a full-on attack, but more of almost like a political act, kind of a thing. I mean, it is sort of a strategic attack in a way, but you get to see Nazarick go up against the Kingdom, which is pretty interesting, to say the least, without spoiling anything.
But yeah, I'll go a little bit more into characters. So you have the Lizard People. We won't get into their names, but there's actually two or three characters that are pretty important there. You have the humans. You get more into like Princess Raynor, who's kind of like an important character, and then Climb, and then Brian Unglass, which Josh doesn't like the humans that much.
Humans are garbage, but
anyway, and then moving on to the finale, you get more of the House of Nazarick and their interactions with the humans. And I would say in this season you really get to see how cool Demiurge is.
Yeah, and I personally think that the Lizard People are really intriguing, especially, I think, for introducing a new faction at the beginning of the season. They picked the right faction because they actually do have some interesting things about them. The main leaders of the different tribes of the Lizard People are actually really fun and likable. There's some interactions between the House of Nazarick and the humans that's actually pretty comical. That's like the only parts I really like of the humans. I know I'm a little bit more biased maybe than Michael is towards them, but it's whatever. But do you want to go into our favorite moments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Josh just wants to see the humans die.
I really do, because I mean, to me, the reason why I look at it as that is because the main protagonist is the House of Nazarick and everybody that's in it, and so I don't really care to see humans really progress. But it's not so much that we get to see the humans; it's mainly the how much they spend looking into them, which we'll get into that more in our rating part. But with favorite moments, there's actually really spread out my favorite moments of what all happens. I really like. There's a moment between Nazarick and the Lizard People that I think is a great episode. Probably, I would say, my favorite episode of the season is when you finally get to see the end of, I guess you'd call that, mini arc. There's a moment where Shoutier is interacting with some humans, and this is the first time the humans get to see her, I believe, but like after she had been mind controlled. And Unglace, whatever you want to say his name, gets a little bit of a reunion with her, and they have a little mini skirmish, if you could call it that, and his reaction is pretty priceless. I do love that part. And then I think it's, kind of escaped my mind right now, but final fight's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think those are moments that I also enjoyed. It's kind of interesting because in the light novel community, people really didn't like the Lizard People arc.
Reverse.
But yeah, for the most part, I liked the Lizard People. I liked the final fight, I would assume, and then like there's a presentation where they get to understand how strong Nazarick is, and their reaction's pretty great.
Oh, I remember. It's one that you like too, so I'll maybe let you say it about Save Us. But
oh yeah. You also have in the end of the human arc, you basically follow Sebas for 3 or 4 episodes, and then Klein and Brian Unglass as well, and some Gazif. But you get to see them take on like the criminal underground, and the battle between there's like 6 or 7 of them, and then Sebas is really great. You get to see like kind of the scale of how powerful Sebas is. And also, it's interesting because you always see him as like a butler. He's supposed to be polite, but he'll kill people for Nazarick too.
And he's actually kind of, I guess you could say, straightforward in his like, yeah, if you come at me, be prepared.
Be prepared to die. And you actually get the strongest character. Well, he's on par. They say in the show, I believe, that he's on par with Gazif. They said in maybe like 1 or 2 years he'd be stronger than Gazif, which is the leader of the criminal underground's like military militia. His scene's pretty cool. His powers are really cool for the 30 seconds that he's alive.
Yeah, that one was actually. It's kind of interesting because Overlord is kind of like a series like One Punch in the sense that its opponents. There has to be a lot of opponents introduced because the people that go up against them are so powerful that they don't really last long when they actually get to the point. So it's nice to see that they went up against a lot of people or a lot of different factions in this one season. And I would say that all of the infights for all of the arcs are the best episodes out of the season. And I mean, that's good thing because that's how it should be.
Yeah, there's not as much setup as far as Nazarick characters in this one, but there is quite a few episodes where either it's the lizard people talking amongst themselves and preparing for an attack, or it's the humans just kind of introducing you to all those characters that totally won't die later on. Well, I guess we'll have to see if they do or not, and who survives.
Yeah. Okay, well, getting into our recommendations / rating. You want to start it off?
I wanted you to start. Because
okay, that's fine with me. Okay, so for rating, I have to give it the same as the first season. It's worth it. There's some parts of it that I don't like as much as the first season. For instance, with the humans, I would say we spend probably at least half the season mainly focused on the human characters. And while that's okay, I don't think that they balanced it well enough to where it was entertaining. Like, you'd go a full episode without seeing Angel Gum, and it'd just be like, oh man, we didn't see him for another episode. And since this was a show that we watched week by week, I was getting really annoyed. So there are some parts, of it that I don't think they balance as well as the first season. But overall, I look at it as this is a season that really is setting up for what's to come. And, how those arcs end up are really great. I do like the lizard people, so that was a nice counteract to the human stuff. And, I mean, as well as, there are some interactions between the House of Nazarick and those other characters that we get introduced to this season that are pretty priceless. So for that, I do want to rate it the same. I think for viewing, that rating really holds up if you kind of binge watch it. If you were kind of going episode by episode, or if you had to wait a while to watch it, your enjoyment might go down a little bit. But overall, I think that's a pretty solid rating for me.
Yeah, I was looking back. It's hard really to compare season 1 to season 2 because you almost have so many different factions. I did like the humans a little bit more than Josh. I did like Princess Rainer, I think is her name. You find out that she's creepy and crazy, even though she's supposed to be like the good princess in the kingdom. You get to find out that she's pretty messed up. I like Klein. I liked Sebas was really cool in this series. So, and I like the final battle, just kind of like how that worked around with Blue Rose, which we didn't talk about them, but they're introduced in this season, and they're pretty cool. I like Evil Eye, and the Lacheus, I think, is their leader. So they're pretty cool. You get to see them, and they're kind of the strongest humans in the kingdom for the most part. We don't get them compared to Gazif, but so I like that arc and the battle. She has a battle with Blue Rose has a battle with Entoma as well in one episode, and I liked that because you get to see for the first time some humans standing up to Nazarick and how powerful they are in comparison to the maids of Nazarick. But so I'd probably give it a gotta have it if I was looking back at it. So I don't know if I really like it better than the first season, but that's just my rating. I like some of the I like Demiurge a lot, or I'm just gonna say Demiurge, and that means the name that he has because it's super long and difficult. But I liked Demiurge. I liked Ian's Golem in this season. You get more developed of him and Momin as an adventurer, get a little bit more of that, and kind of the savior of the kingdom. So I really like this season, and overall, we don't have our overall opinion for season 3, but I'm liking season 3 quite a bit.
Season 3, I would say it's about the middle, halfway done. Would you say
when we're recording this?
While we're recording this. And for me, it's looking to be the best season out of the series so far. So I'm really excited if they're going to keep that opinion that they've built towards me to the end of the season. But it's looking good, so we can't wait to have another video for that when it finally finishes for you guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much our coverage of Overlord Season 2. We'll be having more anime stuff out, including a Cells at Work video, which is a show we've been watching and enjoying every week. Overlord Season 3, as soon as it finishes, we'll have more light novel reviews coming out on the channel, gaming reviews, and more comic book stuff, everything pretty much, here at Addict Informative. You can also check out our social media for updates on content whenever we post videos, and on our website specifically for the written reviews that are coming out weekly for Angel of Death. So with that, Addicts, that's pretty much it. And we'll see you again for Overlord Season 3. Peace.
Later, Addicts.